everyone, welcome back to China Plus America Facebook page. Welcome to join us in today's live streaming, reporting by Huang Yue in Wuhan, the capital city of central China's Hubei province, and also the former epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak in China. So today, as you can see, I'm going to show you some famous tourist attractions in Wuhan, because although the city has lifted its lockdown on April the 8th, some tourist attractions. Welcome back, and sorry for the bad signal. This is Huang Yue reporting in Wuhan, the capital city of central China's Hubei province, and it's also the former epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak in China. Today I'm going to show you some famous tourist attractions here in Wuhan, although they're remaining in lockdown, they're remaining closed. I'm going to show you some tourist destinations without so many tourists, so that maybe you can have a better glimpse, better perspective to appreciate its charm and its beauty. So here I'm at the place you're looking at right now is the Red Chamber, actually. The Red Chamber is a significant historic site of a 1911 revolution. It was the spot of a Hubei military government. The military government. So it's not only a symbol of the terminal point of the feudal monarchy of China, but the threshold of the Republic era of China. Therefore, the Red Chamber is praised as the gate to the Republic of China. Hello Kenny, welcome to join us today. And hello Adrian. Adrian Johnson says hi. Hi, good morning from Wuhan. How are you today? And hello Gailey. Hello Trent. Welcome to join us in today's live stream. I'm in Wuhan, the capital city of central China's Hubei province, and I'm going to show you some of the famous tourist spots here in Wuhan, although they're still closed because of the coronavirus outbreak. The architecture you're looking at right now is called Red Chamber. Actually, it's located in the central district of Wuhan, and it leans against the wandering Snake Hill with the boundless Yangtze River flowing nearby. Its walls and tiles are red, which show great charm of this sacred place of 1911 revolution. It's also a serene place with green grass and trees in the downtown area. All make it become a cultural site and famous tourist attraction with the purposes of education and relaxation. So take a walk with me and to appreciate the beautiful scenery of Wuhan, the central Chinese city. Kenny says that building looked like a school. Right, that building looks like a school, but actually it's a museum. It's a museum. So if you can travel here in the near future, you can come to have a look inside. And here you can learn something about the Chinese history. Gail, oh sorry, I pronounced your name wrong. Gail says Guangzhou. No, it's Wuhan. It's Wuhan here. So although the city has lifted its outbound travel restrictions on April the 8th, you can see there are still not so many people on the streets. Randall says it's nice to still see everything without tourists. Thank you for sharing. Continue to be safe out there. Thank you, Randall. Thank you very much. Although the situation here in Wuhan is getting better, local authorities and experts still suggest and require residents to stay alert and avoid unnecessary movement. And as you know, May the 1st is also a International Labor Day. Usually Chinese people will enjoy 5 days holiday, and during the past few years, people would travel to other cities in China or even travel to foreign countries to have a vacation. But this year, due to the pandemic outbreak, I believe many people will choose to stay at home to avoid go to crowded places. And here, the Red Chamber. And on October the 10th, 1911, which is the year of the Xinhai of Chinese calendar, inspired by the democratic revolution thinking of Sun Yat-sen, revolutionaries in Hubei led the Wuchang uprising and overthrew the rule of the Qing government in Wuchang, making the beginning of the revolution of 1911. And Wuchang uprising, supported by other provinces of the country, put an end to over 260-year rule of the Qing dynasty, Qing government, and 2 millennia of imperial rules, allowing Wuchang to be rated as the district of feast uprising and the Red Chamber, the gate of the Republic of China. So I remember when I visited this place last year, also around this period of time in April, there were so many tourists here, and you couldn't even appreciate the real beauty of this architecture as well as the history here. Well, although the outbreak has made people stay at home, avoid going out, you can see another scenery of the tourist attractions. It's peaceful and tranquil. So it's still close to the tourists, but maybe after we finally contained the epidemic, the COVID-19 outbreak, you can travel to Wuhan and to have a closer look at this museum. All right, let's continue our journey. So actually this street is really famous for among tourists because it links the museum, the Red Chamber, the museum, and the Yellow Crane Tower, which is another significant, famous, popular tourist attractions in Wuhan. So the Red Chamber we just looked at is the museum of Wuchang uprising of 1911 revolution. Kenny Yam asked what made Wuhan popular for tourists. Well, first of all, for example, some tourist attractions, for example, the Yellow Crane Tower, the Red Chamber of the 1911 revolution, and I would say in spring, the cherry blossoms of Wuhan University and the East Lake Garden that I took you to visit before, early in March. And over there is a Hubei Theater. So maybe you can enjoy a local opera if you visit here in the near future. So now I'm taking you to have take a look at the Yellow Crane Tower, which is also a famous tourist attraction in Wuhan. Kenny says, so it's a very garden city and art place. Yes, it is. It's a garden city and art place, and also it's a city of so many rivers, because you know the Yangtze River runs through the urban area of Wuhan. So I'll also take you to have a look at the Yangtze River Bridge of Wuhan. It's the first bridge across the Yangtze River in China. So last year when I visited here, I also walked along this street with my friends, but at that time the whole street is so crowded. But today, as you can see, I can enjoy a peaceful walk and along the street without so many vehicles or so many tourists. How many kilometers apart from each of the places? How many kilometers? Not very far. I'm not sure about the exact how many kilometers, but I guess about 500 meters. Not very far from each other. We will soon arrive at the Yellow Crane Tower. Corey asked, are those paintings or advertising? Let me check. Oh, those are some advertising, but not for commercial use. Just to remind people to protect the environment and to protect the teenagers. William Mute says, good evening, William, and good morning from Wuhan. So this used to be an ancient street for you to enjoy some, classic scenery, antique scenery of Wuhan, but now it's also closed. 这边能开，这边开吗？今天不开门是吧？哦，谢谢。So the grandpa told me that it's not open today. Corey asked, what time is it there? What time is it? It's 12:33 p.m. 12:33 p.m. April the 17th. Oh, I find a little cat here. Hi, little cutie. I think she's pregnant. Hi. Hello. I think she's pregnant. So she lives Maybe she lives in the Yellow Crane Tower. Oh. She's trying to get her food and drink, and some water. 您是给他就是每天会给他送点吃的是吗？啊。送吃的，饿死了。啊，它这个猫它是就是黄鹤楼这边的猫吗？黄鹤楼上面的。啊 ，so the lady told me that the cat actually lives in the Yellow Crane Tower, and she will come here to give the cat some food and water. Okay. William Lowman says, "Say my name, please. Love you and your friends." Thank you, William, and thank you for joining us in today's live stream. We almost arrived at the Yellow Crane Tower. Look at the architecture over there. That's typical Chinese style tower, Chinese style of architecture of towers and pagodas. Neil Kim says afternoon. Good afternoon, Neil. Alright, so here you can have a look at the Yellow Crane Tower tourist map. So if you visit here, of course, it also has the introduction, English version of the introduction. Kenny says Kitty has its own mansion. What a rich cat. Yeah, so sometimes we feel like the cats and dogs are happier than us because they can live in the Yellow Crane Tower. So here we arrived at the Yellow Crane Tower Park, and as you can see, it's also closed. It's not open to the tourists yet. So if you are in Wuhan, an absolute must-see is the Yellow Crane Tower, regarded as one of the 4 great towers of China. And the tower stands on the banks of the Yangtze River at the top of a Snake Hill. Let's try to get a better view of the tower since it's not open and we cannot get inside. According to the legend, Yellow Crane Tower was built by the family of an old bathhouse owner living in Wuhan City long time ago, named Old Xin. And one day, a shabbily dressed Taoist priest came to the house and asked for some wine. Old Xin paid no attention to him, but his son was very kind and gave the Taoist some wine without asking for money. Then the priest visited the house regularly for half a year when one day he said to the son that in order to repay his kindness, he would like to draw a crane on the wall of the house, which would dance at his request. When people in the city heard of this, they flocked to the house to see the dancing crane. The Xin family soon became rich, and they built the Yellow Crane Tower as a symbol of gratitude to the Taoist priest. So this is a legend about the Yellow Crane Tower. Oh, here we can have a look at that Yellow Crane Tower over there. So the tower stands today is not the original building. It has a very long and complicated history. It was first built in 223 during the Three Kingdoms period. And then during the Tang Dynasty, many popular poems were written in praise of the Yellow Crane Tower. It was these poems that made the tower so renowned and induced for people to visit. It's a pity that we cannot get inside during this period of time because although the epidemic situation here in Wuhan is getting better, people are still asked to stay alert and tourist spots are still closed. And the Yellow Crane Tower had different architectural features in different dynasties. However, the tower which stands today is based on the one designed during the Qing Dynasty. It stands 51.4 meters, that's about 168 feet high, and it has 5 floors. So you can catch a glimpse of the tower over there. Bob says, so this place is 1,000 years old. Yes. So the Yellow Crane Tower has a history of over 2,000 years. Marvin asked, is it true that in Wuhan they eat bats? No. Actually, I've been asked for quite a lot of times. Perhaps, China is a country with 1.4 billion people. You can, I heard the past. So you cannot just judge the whole country and its people by a single case, right? Julie asked, any word when they will open? We still don't know yet, but perhaps after the whole coronavirus outbreak then is over, the scenic spots in the city will reopen to the tourists. And some of our audience used to ask me in our previous live streams about the vaccine, right? So China has approved 3 COVID-19 vaccine candidates for clinical trials. And the first phase of the clinical trial was completed at the end of March, and the second phase started on April the 12th. So it is the first COVID-19 vaccine in the world that has entered the second phase of clinical trial. Oh, Athenia asked, excuse me, is ear infection a symptom? Ear infection, I didn't heard about that is one of the symptoms of COVID-19 because some typical symptoms include fever, coughing, a lack of strength, a runny nose, but I'm not sure whether the ear infection is one of the symptoms. So over there is the Yellow Crane Tower. We can just walk along the park, but maybe in the future, in the near future, if we can win the battle against the COVID-19 outbreak as soon as possible, you're welcomed to travel to Wuhan to have a closer look at this really beautiful Yellow Crane Tower with a long history. Magli said, I wish I lived over there with my family. I heard it's very peaceful. Yes, Wuhan is really a beautiful and peaceful place for you and your family to live and to visit. Here you can enjoy the very delicious hot dry noodles. If you didn't catch our live stream about the hot dry noodles, you can play back the video on our Facebook page. And also you can also enjoy some local drinks like rice wine in Wuhan. So the Yellow Crane Tower offers visitors an abundance of things to see. The exhibit on each floor has a theme, actually. Like we introduced earlier, the Yellow Crane Tower has 5 floors, and each floor has a theme. For example, the theme of the first floor is about legend. On the wall, there is a 9-meter long and 6-meter wide painted porcelain picture which depicts clouds, rivers, and cranes to represent a romantic mood in the heaven. For example, the 3rd floor mainly shows poems written to praise the tower in different dynasties. And on the top of the tower, visitors are treated to a fabulous panoramic view of the Yangtze River, its bridge, and the surrounding buildings in Wuhan city. Outside the tower, there are bronze yellow cranes, memorial gateways, and pavilions. Betty says, I hope you have an umbrella with you. The sky looks like rain very soon. Oh, thank you for your kind words. I didn't bring an umbrella with me today, but don't worry, I'll try to get in a taxi if it rains. John Wood says they taste great. You mean the hot dry noodles? I don't know what flower it is, but it smells good. also here you can have a better view of the Yellow Crane Tower. Let's go upstairs. Marvin says it looks very nice in Wuhan. Yes, it is. And this is really a beautiful city. Because usually this season, the city will see a lot of tourists. So over there is the Yellow Crane Tower. We cannot get inside now. I wish I could get inside to show you the close of the tower, but nowadays, since all the scenic spots haven't reopened to tourists, I cannot get inside. But maybe next time we can get closer to have a glimpse of this amazing tower, and also maybe we can get to the top of the tower to have a bird's eye view of the city and the Yangtze River. Magli asked, how old is this building? You mean the Yellow Crane Tower? Well, it has a long and complicated history. It was first built in 223. It was first built in 223, so it's nearly 2,000 years old. Don Richard asked, is it permanently closed? It's temporarily closed because of the COVID-19 outbreak. These tourist sites were temporarily closed to avoid crowds. Because nowadays, it's still important for people to maintain social distance. If these tourist attractions reopened, many visitors will come, and then people will be too close to each other. It's not good for the curb of the COVID-19 outbreak. All right, let's continue our walk. I'll take you to the Yangtze River Bridge in Wuhan. It's also the first bridge over the Yangtze River, across the Yangtze River. Wuhan Yangtze River Bridge is the first highway railway bridge over the Yangtze River. So let's continue our walk. Bob asked, is it cold there? No, it's not cold at all. It's spring here in Wuhan, but the temperature is almost about, I don't know the exact temperature today, but I guess it's about 25 degrees Celsius. Javier said, I would like to visit China. It's beautiful. Thank you, and welcome to visit China after we have won this battle against the pandemic globally. Magali said, what was the name of the tower that you just left? All right, the tower is called Yellow Crane Tower, or Huanghelou in Chinese. Yellow Crane Tower. Crane, Yellow Crane Tower. Crane, C-R-A-N-E, Magali, that's Yellow Crane Tower. Jeremiah says, thank you so much for allowing us to see something beautiful during this difficult time. Well, it's my pleasure to show you the scenery here and to bring you the latest updates in Wuhan, the former hardest hit region in China. Because just because you can see China, the Wuhan has gone through the hardest period of time. I wish this could give you some confidence and faith that you can also win this battle. So stay strong and lose your faith. And actually, this morning I read about a report that many Chinese people, about 94% of 2003 respondents said that they've learned new skills during the quarantine, during self-isolation at home. So I guess that's maybe also a good idea to you, that you can also learn some new skills at home when you're in quarantine. Kenny says Yunnan is one of the areas on my bucket list. It's possible. I'm close to Southeast Asian culture background. Yes, Yunnan is also a beautiful place. It's also a place that I want to visit, maybe in the future. I've never been to Yunnan before. So, has any of you once traveled to Yunnan? You can share us. You can share your experience with us in comments. William Lowman asked, you live there or you visiting? Well, I don't live in Wuhan. I came here for the COVID-19 outbreak report. I came here on February the 4th, and it's my I've been here for over 70 days. So as you can see, only a few of people come outside to take a walk along the street to enjoy the spring scenery of the city, because local authorities still ask people to stay at home and to avoid unnecessary movement. Because although the situation here is getting better and better, there are still asymptomatic carriers being reported in the city, so we should still be very cautious. Dinah Allen says good night. It's almost 1 a.m. in the morning. Well, it has been very informative. Thank you very much. Till we meet again. Thank you, Dinah, and have a good night. Barbara says this pandemic has brought about a new kindness in people and coming together as one. I hope the same kindness remains once we are safely out of the woods. Right, I totally agree with you. Because in Wuhan, about 1 month or 2 months ago, when the situation is really severe here, I can see people in the city were showing kindness to each other, and people have been supporting each other, and they've been helping each other during the whole lockdown and the outbreak. Here in Wuhan, it used to hit city in China, and over 42,000 doctors and nurses from all across the country came here to help local hospitals, to help local medics to combat the coronavirus. And it's also very touching to see so many community workers and volunteers running in the city to help residents in need, because in February and March, all the residential communities were sealed off to curb the spread of the virus. So how could people get their groceries? That's when community workers and volunteers, they stood out to offer the help to the residents in their apartments. Jeremiah asked, can you get in trouble for being out? No, of course not. So these days, since the city has ended its lockdown and reopened its outbound travel channels, you can go out for work if you have the Green Health Code, digital health certificate that shows you don't have the fever and you didn't have any close contact with confirmed or suspected cases of infections. Anthony says, I have been having nightmare and anxiety attacks. I hate this. I'm sorry to hear that, but please don't be too worried. Please don't get too anxious. You have to relax, and you have to believe that everything will be fine. Just look at Wuhan, just look at China. Early in February, in March, people were also so afraid and anxious. But look at here now. We've got through this, so you can also get through this very soon, because there were so many doctors and nurses who've been working so arduously to help us to contain the epidemic. So let's just stay at home and don't go to crowded places. That's also our contribution to the containment of the outbreak. Alright, we have arrived at the Yangtze River Bridge. Take a look. Korika Jefferson says there is still issues in Wuhan. Well, let's say, although the situation is better here, we cannot say there is no risk in the city. There are still asymptomatic carriers being reported every day, so we still have to be very cautious. Michelle says, there are no crowded places here. Everything is temporarily shut down unless you're a frontline worker. Yes, same here in February and March. the city of Wuhan was put in lockdown from January the 23rd to April the 8th. And during the lockdown, the city suspended all the public transportation services, and some public venues were also closed, including the tourist attractions we just looked at right now, just now. Well, since on April the 8th, the city reopened. It started to resume normal life and resume production and work gradually. Well, we've arrived at the Yangtze River Bridge. So the Wuhan Yangtze River Bridge is the first highway railway bridge over the Yangtze River. You can see on the mighty Yangtze River with a length of 3,950 miles, there was no bridge for thousands of years. And this river seemed an obstacle set by nature, separating Hanyang, Hankou, and Wuchang, namely the three towns of Wuhan. In addition, it blocked the transportation between the north and the south of China. Only ship can be used. However, this natural obstacle became accessible for various vehicles due to the finish of this Yangtze River Bridge in 1957. So the Yangtze River is also known as, by many Chinese people, as the Mother River. To me, it also has an important meaning to me because my hometown is also near the Yangtze River. So whenever I see the Yangtze River, I feel like it's home. I feel it's really close to my home. Jana says used to have boats to cross years ago. Yeah, before, for thousands of years, there was no bridge over the Yangtze River, so people could only travel across the river by using boats and ships. But in 1957, since the first Yangtze River Bridge was finished, people can finally get across the river, various vehicles. Also to the people of Wuhan, the Yangtze River Bridge also means a lot to them. Oh, I'd like to mention, take a look at the pattern of the bridge. You will see that every pattern is different from each other. 1955. The Grand Bridge project takes about 2 years to finish, and the complete bridge is about 5,400 feet long, with the main body of 3,700 feet. It has 8 piers and 9 halls. It's divided into 2 levels, with the upper one for bus transit and the lower for trains. And the driveway is 59 feet wide for 6 buses to run parallel. And the bridge is extremely firm. It has not been harmed even during the huge Wenchuan earthquake in 2008. Alright, it's too windy, you cannot hear me clearly. So how about now, can you hear me? I'm going to speak louder to introduce the information of the bridge to you. So the bridge the construction of the bridge was finished in 1957, and it's about 5,400 feet long, with a main body of 3,700 feet. It has 8 piers and 9 halls. It's divided into 2 levels, with the upper one for bus transit and lower for trains. The driveway is 59 feet wide for 6 buses to run parallel. The bridge is extremely firm, actually. It has not been even during the huge earthquake in 2008 here in China. And since then, there are more and more bridges being constructed in Wuhan across the Yangtze River to help with the transportation service here. Alright, thank you for spending time with me today. It's almost the end